Welcome. So today we're plunging into something pretty fascinating, I think. Two really powerful leadership approaches, authentic leadership and purposeful leadership.
Right.
On the surface, maybe they seem like, two sides of the same coin, but we want to dig a bit deeper.
Yeah.
Are there important distinctions, things that can genuinely help you lead more effectively?
Yeah.
That's the question, really.
That's exactly our mission for this deep dive. We're going to unpack these concepts,
Okay.
go beyond just the buzzwords, understand the nuances, the interplay, and explore why this intersection is becoming, well, increasingly vital.
Especially now.
Especially now. I mean, let's be frank, trust in leadership isn't exactly at an all-time high globally.
No kidding.
So these approaches, they're not just nice ideas, they're emerging as potential solutions, real powerful solutions.
And we've got some pretty intriguing details lined up for you today.
Mm-hmm.
We'll uncover, believe it or not, a surprising FBI connection related to authenticity.
Oh, yeah, that's a great story.
We'll touch on a term called polycrisis,
Mm-hmm.
what that means and how these styles help navigate it.
Crucial context for today.
And ultimately explore how maybe blending these approaches could be the way forward for your leadership.
Absolutely. It's about finding what works.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We hear authentic leadership, purposeful leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they sound the same.
They do get used interchangeably, yeah.
But if someone really wants to understand and, apply these,
Mm-hmm.
how do we define authentic leadership? What's its core? What makes it distinct?
Right. So authentic leadership, at its heart, it's about self-awareness, definitely, but also knowing your own biases
Okay.
and fostering what we call relational transparency. That's not just sharing stuff. It's actively seeking feedback, being open.
Taking feedback.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And making balanced decisions, really considering different views, not just your own gut, and operating from a bedrock of moral values.
Values that you actually show, not just talk about.
Exactly, consistently demonstrated. It's about showing up without, like, a mask,
Yeah.
leading from your genuine self, grounded in who you truly are.
I can absolutely see that self-awareness, that transparency would be vital. But is it always intuitive? Do people sometimes misunderstand what authentic really means in leadership?
That's a really excellent point. Misinterpretation is common.
How so?
Well, authenticity isn't an excuse for, say, oversharing personal drama or being impulsively blunt without thought. It's about congruence
Congruous.
between your inner values and your outer actions. Now, purposeful leadership, that's where that authenticity meets a clear direction.
Okay, so different focus.
Right. It focuses more on aligning the organization's goals with core values to create meaningful impact, often impact that goes beyond just the bottom line.
Transcendent impact, you said.
Yeah, something bigger. Purposeful leaders don't just know who they are. That's the authentic part. They also know why they're leading, what cause they serve.
So they align actions with a vision. Something greater than just, personal gain.
Precisely.
Okay, so if authentic is the who I am genuinely and purposeful is the why we exist, what we serve, is there a risk? Could the who become so dominant it overshadows the mission?
That's a definite risk.
Or the other way around, the mission becomes everything and the leader loses that human touch. How do you keep that balance?
That's the tricky part, and where the real power lies when you get it right. Think of it simply. Authentic leadership focuses on inner truth, self-awareness, asking, who am I really?
Right. Transparent, grounded.
Yes. Its style is relational. Purposeful leadership focuses on outer impact, aligned intention, asking, why am I here? What must I serve?
More visionary, mission-driven.
Exactly. Visionary, intentional. So they are distinct, but as you pointed out, the danger is when they operate separately, in silos.
It's fascinating, though, how often they get mixed up, even with these clear differences. Why do you think that happens? Just misunderstanding.
I think it's deeper than that. Because in practice, when leadership is really effective, they're profoundly intertwined. You really can't lead with genuine purpose if you're disconnected from your authentic self.
Right, that would feel fake. Performative.
Exactly, performative purpose. And the flip side, authenticity without a clear sense of purpose. It risks becoming just self-focused.
Like, here I am being real, but so what?
Sort of, yeah. Real, yes, but maybe not leading anywhere specific, not transforming things for others. The most powerful leaders, they embody both.
Leading from the inside out.
That's a great way to put it. They're not just real, they're aligned. Not just transparent, but transformational. Authenticity fuels purpose, and purpose gives authenticity direction and impact.
Okay, that connection makes sense. Which brings us to a critical point. What are the actual risks if you try to lead with just one, neglecting the other? What pitfalls does the research show?
Oh, there are definite pitfalls. Authentic leadership, if it lacks that external focus of purpose, can sometimes become a bit passive or maybe too inward looking, almost like you said earlier, navel gazing. It might build trust, sure, which is great, but without clear direction, that trust might not translate into collective action.
Okay, so trust without direction isn't enough. What about purpose without authenticity?
That's maybe even more dangerous. Purposeful leadership without genuine authenticity backing it up. It can feel manipulative, misaligned.
Like someone's just saying the right things for show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It looks good. Maybe they articulate a grand vision, but if it doesn't feel real, it lacks conviction. It fails to inspire true commitment because people sense it's hollow.
So integrity is the connection point for authentic.
Right. And meaning is the connection for purposeful.
And if they diverge, integrity takes a hit and the meaning feels superficial.
You got it. That's the core tension.
This whole discussion about risks, it really makes me think about the world right now, this idea of a polycrisis that came up in our sources.
Ah, yes, the polycrisis.
Can you unpack that term for us? What exactly does it mean, and why is it so relevant to, say, purposeful leadership?
Sure. Polycrisis, it sounds complicated, but the idea is fairly straightforward. It refers to a situation where you don't just have one big crisis, but multiple major crises happening at once.
Like climate change, economic instability.
Exactly. Climate change, economic shocks, tech disruption, geopolitical tensions, you name it. They intersect, they overlap, and they amplify each other.
Creating this complex, interconnected mess. Not just one problem, but a whole web of them.
Precisely. A web of escalating, interconnected challenges. It's a state of high complexity and uncertainty.
So in that kind of turbulent environment, that polycrisis, where things are just inherently chaotic,
Yeah.
how do these leadership styles, authentic versus purposeful, really shine?
That's where their distinct strengths become super clear.
Okay.
Authentic leaders, their authority comes mainly through trust and credibility. That's absolutely vital when everything feels uncertain and maybe information is ambiguous.
The transparency becomes an anchor.
Exactly, a stable anchor in the storm. Purposeful leaders, though, they really excel at driving innovation and adaptation during these times.
How so? More than just keeping focus.
Yeah, much more. In a polycrisis, a strong, purposeful leader might actively re-articulate the organization's why. They show how the current chaos actually reinforces the long-term mission.
Turning challenges into fuel for the mission.
In a way, yes. Transforming overwhelming challenges into clear, actionable mandates for innovation. It's less about just adapting to the crisis and more about leading through it with unwavering conviction in the purpose.
That's powerful. Can you give us a concrete example? Maybe how an authentic leader handles a tough spot or how a purposeful leader rallies the troops.
Sure. There's a fascinating example, I think it was in Forbes, about Steve Jobs.
Okay.
In his Stanford commencement speech, he spoke very openly about being fired from Apple. That deep vulnerability, sharing that failure.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's classic authentic leadership, communicating transparently about a really difficult experience, and through that narrative, building incredible trust and connection. He didn't hide it, he owned it.
Right. And for purposeful leaders.
Think about connecting daily work to something bigger. The Purpose Factor research from 2024 shows purposeful leaders excel at helping teams see how their specific job contributes to larger societal goals.
Not just hitting quarterly numbers.
Exactly. And what's interesting, maybe counterintuitive, is this focus on higher purpose doesn't just feel good. It actually correlates with hard metrics like better employee retention and engagement.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, I have to ask about this FBI connection you mentioned. Authenticity and the FBI. Sounds like a movie plot.
Oh, it's a fantastic anecdote. It comes from a former FBI agent shared in a Forbes piece.
Go on.
She described how authenticity literally saved her life during an undercover operation.
Seriously, how?
When she was questioned intensely by criminals, the key was being genuinely herself about everything, except her true identity as an agent.
So she wasn't playing a completely different character.
No, she wasn't trying to imitate someone else. She was incredibly honest about her personality, her background details, the ones she could share, her reactions, within the tight parameters she had.
And that built trust, even with criminals.
It built crucial trust. It really underscores that trying to put on a facade, trying to imitate someone else, it ultimately undermines your effectiveness, even in the most extreme, high-stakes situations.
Wow. Not just effective, but life-saving.
It makes you realize authenticity isn't just a soft skill, it's fundamental.
Yeah, it really does. Makes you think how many everyday interactions get undermined by just small bits of fakeness.
Hmm.
So, okay, beyond anecdotes, even dramatic ones like that, what does the broader research tell us about the overall impact, the outcomes of these styles and organizations? Are there measurable benefits?
Oh, absolutely. Clear, measurable benefits. Recent studies, they show organizations led by authentic leaders can experience up to 15% higher profitability.
15%. That's significant.
It is, and about a 20% boost in employee engagement and trust.
Why such a big jump?
Well, the thinking is that transparency fosters psychological safety. People feel safer to speak up, to innovate, to take calculated risks.
Okay, and purposeful leadership.
Yeah.
Similar impact.
Similar positive impact, but maybe emphasized differently. Purposeful leadership tends to drive stronger, long-term sustainability and innovation, better strategic alignment across the organization, more resilience.
Resilience, okay.
That 2024 Leaders on Purpose study, for instance, it found that companies with a clearly articulated and lived purpose significantly outperform their peers in market growth.
Those are compelling numbers. You've made a strong case for both styles, honestly. They sound almost universally good.
They have huge upsides.
But where do leaders stumble? Are there common pitfalls beyond the obvious ones like oversharing or being too mission-focused?
There definitely can be traps. Authentic leadership, if you're not careful, can sometimes lead to what you might call authenticity overload.
Authenticity overload.
Yeah, like oversharing personal struggles that aren't really relevant or helpful to the team, or sometimes maybe even decision paralysis because the leader feels they need to be excessively transparent about every single doubt or alternative.
Okay, so too much transparency can backfire.
It can. And purposeful leadership sometimes can risk prioritizing that grand mission so heavily that it overlooks the immediate practical needs or even the well-being of the individuals working towards it.
Sacrificing the now for the later.
Potentially, yes. The key, as always, is balance and discernment, knowing when and how to apply each principle.
Speaking of balance in changing times, what does the research say about how these styles are evolving? Especially with, the modern workplace. We've got like 5 generations working together now.
That's a huge factor. Baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z.
How does that mix impact the demand for authenticity versus purpose?
The research points very clearly towards an accelerating trend, a move towards hybrid approaches.
Hybrid, okay, not just one or the other.
Exactly. With 5 generations, you have a workforce with increasingly diverse expectations. There's a growing demand for both trust and clear purpose, but the emphasis might shift. Well, younger generations, especially Gen Z and millennials, they tend to place a really high value on both authenticity and purpose. They want leaders who are real, genuine, but also connect their work to meaningful social or environmental impact. It's not either for them.
Right. What about older generations?
Baby boomers often appreciate the transparency and experience associated with authentic leadership. Gen X, characteristically maybe, often looks for that clear direction and results focus from purposeful leadership.
So leaders today really need to be flexible.
Extremely flexible. They're expected to flex between these styles, sometimes even in the same conversation, offering both the who and the why in ways that resonate across that generational spectrum.
That's a pretty significant shift, a big ask for leaders.
Yeah.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener? How can someone actually develop these qualities, especially if they feel, naturally more inclined one way?
Great question. It starts with awareness. For authentic leadership, self-awareness is absolutely foundational.
More than just thinking about yourself.
Oh, yeah. It involves actively seeking honest feedback, like 360 reviews, and engaging in regular reflection, practices to really understand your values, your strengths, but also your blind spots.
Okay, so feedback and reflection for authenticity. What about purpose?
For purposeful leadership, it requires clearly articulating the organization's values and mission, making it tangible.
Not just a plaque on the wall.
Definitely not. And consistent stakeholder engagement, talking to employees, customers, the community, to ensure that purpose actually resonates both inside and outside the organization. It has to be lived.
And both require practice.
Consistent practice and being open to feedback. That's how you genuinely develop these skills. It's a journey.
And how do these different approaches affect something really fundamental, like making decisions? Especially when things get tough, like in a crisis.
Decision-making under pressure.
Yeah.
That's where the styles can really diverge.
How?
Okay, picture a critical, high-stakes moment. Conflicting advice coming in. An authentic leader might transparently share their internal struggle.
Like, this is tough, here's what I'm weighing up.
Exactly. Share the core values guiding their choice, fostering trust even if the outcome is uncertain. They prioritize open dialogue, value-aligned choices.
Okay. And the purposeful leader.
A purposeful leader facing that same decision would likely frame it differently. Not just based on current data, but on how the decision aligns with or maybe even redefines the long-term mission.
Rallying people around the why.
Right, rallying the team around that shared why that transcends the immediate pressure. So, in a crisis, authentic leaders build trust through honesty about the challenges. Purposeful leaders maintain focus on the mission, providing that North Star.
That's a really clear distinction. What about things like fostering innovation? Or just shaping team dynamics day to day?
Good points. Authentic leadership helps cultivate psychological safety.
Because the leader shows vulnerability.
Yes, and demonstrates trust. That inherently encourages creative thinking because people feel safe. Safe to share a half-baked idea or challenge how things are done.
Okay, safety breeds creativity.
Mm.
Purposeful.
Purposeful leadership tends to drive innovation that's specifically aligned with the organizational goals, with the mission. It helps ensure creativity is channeled productively towards that shared objective.
Got it. And team dynamics. How people relate.
Authentic leadership often fosters stronger interpersonal connections, a better sense of belonging, because the leader is seen as a real person. Purposeful leadership creates better team alignment around those shared objectives. It gives individual work deeper meaning within the team context.
And both probably help keep people around, right? Retention?
Absolutely. They impact retention profoundly, but maybe through slightly different mechanisms. Authentic leadership retains people through trust and engagement. Purposeful leadership retains them through providing meaningful work and clear direction. Employees feel valued both as individuals and as contributors to something larger.
Does this still hold true now with so much remote work?
Oh, definitely. Maybe even more so. Authentic leadership becomes crucial remotely to build and maintain trust when you don't have those casual in-person cues.
Right, you have to be more intentional.
Exactly. Transparent communication, genuine connection, they bridge the physical distance, and purposeful leadership. It helps maintain that connection to the mission across different locations.
Keeping everyone pulling in the same direction, even if they're not in the same room.
Precisely. Ensuring that even though you're working apart, you're still working towards something meaningful together.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway?
Well, what's fascinating and what the research strongly suggests is that it's really not about choosing between authentic leadership and purposeful leadership anymore.
It's not neither.
No. The most effective leaders, they understand when to emphasize each one. Often they blend them pretty seamlessly, depending on the situation.
A hybrid approach.
Exactly. The future of leadership looks very much like a powerful hybrid, combining that trust-building power of authenticity with the clear, directional clarity of purpose.
Okay, so for you listening, what does this mean practically? A good next step, maybe, is to start with some self-assessment.
Understand your natural tendencies.
Yeah, are you naturally more authentic in your style or more purpose-driven? And then deliberately work on developing skills in both areas.
Through that consistent practice and feedback we talked about.
Right. Whether you choose to lean mainly into authenticity or purpose or really aim for that powerful blend.
Yeah.
The key seems to be consistency and genuine commitment to whatever approach you take.
Absolutely. And for anyone who wants to dive even deeper, there are some great resources. That 2024 Leaders on Purpose study is excellent.
Okay.
And there's recent research from Harvard Business School specifically on authentic leadership. Both offer much more granular insights.
Perfect. So a final thought to leave you with. Just like that FBI agent discovered, right? Being true to herself, even under extreme pressure, was key. How might being true to yourself while also serving a greater purpose that you define, be the perfect combination for your own leadership journey?
Something to really consider.
Definitely something to think about until our next deep dive.